Leviathan centers on a hot-headed simpleton named Kolya, who lives in a small fishing town near the Barents Sea in northern Russia. He owns an auto repair shop that stands right next to the house where he lives with his young wife and his son from a previous marriage. The mayor of the town wants to take away his business, his house, and his land. First he tries buying off Kolya, who however cannot stand losing everything he has, not only the land, but also all of the people he has ever known in his whole life. So the mayor starts being more aggressive. Therefore, Kolya recruits a lawyer friend to help, but the man's arrival only brings further misfortune for him and his family. The character development of the protagonist parallels the biblical figure from the book of Job in the Old Testament, which deals with him suffering in the hands of Satan, his discussions with friends about the origin and nature of his suffering, and finally receiving an answer from God. That's where the title of this film comes in. Leviathan, which can be either a sea monster that's referenced in the Old Testament, or any large sea monster or creature in general, like the giant whale in Moby Dick, and in modern Hebrew it simply means whale. In demonology, the Leviathan, representing envy, is one of the 7 princes of hell and its gatekeeper. So what does all of that have to do with a film that's basically a drama? From the very first shots we get recurring leitmotifs that will be scattered throughout the film. The seashore, abandoned boats which resemble skeletons of whales, an actual whale skeleton, the one that appears on the poster as well. And the story itself is one exactly about envy, betrayal, greed, and an all-consuming and all-powerful evil looming above the people who are helpless and powerless. Now after all this talk, I bet you're thinking that I still haven't mentioned anything about the quality of this film, right? Well, it's quite excellent on all fronts. The film has been a major favorite with award ceremonies, winning Best Screenplay at Cannes and Best Foreign Language Film at the Golden Globes. Seeing it a second time, I could really pick up on the clues of foreshadowing scattered throughout, something which was impossible for me to detect upon my first viewing. The timing is really meticulous. Every bit of information is revealed exactly when it is the perfect moment to do so. That's something I always admire about a good script, keeping it tight and making even the most seemingly insignificant piece of dialogue have relevance when looking at the big picture. That's also valid for the characters. There isn't one character here that's flat. Every one of them is well written. I didn't feel like either one of them was of less importance than the others, and indeed every actor here feels to be on top of their game. The filmmakers also play around with the tonality quite successfully, because while not being a comedy, the film does have its fair share of vaguely comedic moments, addressing and criticizing the current situation of Russia and its leader, and not necessarily in the most subtlest of ways either. There is the absolute genius sequence when Kolya, with his family and friends, go on a picnic they have been planning for some time. They drink vodka and shoot guns, using the emptied bottles as targets. After a while, they run out of bottles to shoot at, so they bring out the next best thing. Why, portraits of former Soviet leaders, of course. At a given moment, one of them asks whether or not they have anyone more current, and the response which is given is that it's too early for the current ones. There is not enough of a historical perspective. Let them ripen up on the wall a bit. So I hope I made my point clear. This is a masterful film that not only should be seen, but needs to be seen. I definitely think it's one that will be remembered even decades from now. So that was the review, folks. Thank you for watching, as always, and now